Hello everyone, welcome to today's class. I remain Miss Catherine Otiti. Today we'll be discussing on the topic human trafficking. Human trafficking is a modern day slavery and it involves the use of fraud, of force, trading humans for the purpose of sexual exploitation and commercial activity. Now, human trafficking can be said to be selling of human beings, most especially the female, moving them from one country to another into slavery, the slaves for rich men and they are being paid for, or into sexual slavery. They are turned into prostitutes. They sleep with different people just for money. It is a business of stealing freedom for the purpose of profit. The freedom of this individual, of the victim, are seized for the purpose of making profit. It is the action or practice of illegally transporting people from one country to another. We have three types of human trafficking. One, sexual trafficking. This is transporting of humans, male or female, from one country to another for the purpose of sexual pleasure. They are being transported from one place to another, turned into prostitutes in order to satisfy sexual pleasure of their clients in the country they are being transported to, and they are being paid for. Two, forced labor. Victims are being forced into doing various activities. They labor, they are turned into slavery, and they are being paid for it. Three, debt bondage. Human trafficking also can occur when there is debt. For example, there are some families that are involved in debt. They are indebted. They owe a particular person, but because there is no finances or there is no money to pay back, they can force their daughter or son into slavery, turn their child or their work, or give it out completely to the person, to slave. Now, what are the causes of human trafficking? It generates high profit. Human trafficking is a business that generates high income. Two, demand for cheap labor. The victims or individuals that are forced into this way or into this line are being used for cheap labor. They labor or do activities that are very strenuous, and at the end of the day, they might not get paid, or whosoever is their boss or turn them into that line collect their money, collect their pay. Three, natural disaster. War and a search for better life. The reason for human trafficking is because of natural disaster, displacement, war, and also in search for a better life, greener pasture, to better the life of an individual. Some people venture into human trafficking. Four, because of the unemployment in some countries or lack of social and economic activities, opportunities, people venture into human trafficking, or people are vulnerable to human traffickers. Five, another reason for human trafficking is because of broken homes. Individuals are cast out of their home, abandoned, are also vulnerable to human trafficking. Now we are going to look at the effects of human trafficking in our society. One, Many survivors may end up experiencing post-traumatic stress. Yes, many of these survivors, at the end of the day, they are stigmatized. They experience trauma at the end of the day. Two, lack of independent living skills. Most of them, before being transported from one country to another, do not have the basic skills. So at the end of the day, they might end up not having any. Wasted life, wasted year, wasted potential. Another one is it leads to cheap labor. They are used for strenuous and various activities that are even harmful to the body for cheap labor, for a small amount of money. Now let's look at ways. What are the ways we can use to prevent human trafficking in our country and in our society? One, bringing and creating awareness to our friends, our family, our society, the community at large about trafficking. We create awareness. We make people know. We let people know about the effects of human trafficking in our society. Be a friend to someone who is alone and vulnerable. Yes, be close to someone who is alone, because most people are alone and depressed, and when you are depressed you can do unimaginable things. It can lead to frustration, and they are also vulnerable to human traffickers, because at the end of the day they see it as a way out of their problem or situation. Call the National Human Trafficking Agencies if you notice any suspicious activities. Yes, you call the necessary and right agencies if you notice any activities about an individual or a family member or a neighbor in the society. Thank you very much. And please jot down the note and read through. Our next class will continue from where we stop. Thank you. Stay safe.